Hey folks, Ryan here, and I'm joined by Vinny Carabella and Ed Martin from Utechnics. Ed, how you doing, sir?
Awesome, great to be here.
Thank you for making the trip all the way out from North Carolina to give us a look at NASCAR, the game, inside line.
Well, I drove my stock car out here, so I was able to get here really quick.
Why were you late?
Hard.
What the hell? Yeah,
You didn't hear me pull up, it was really loud.
San Francisco parking's a bitch, man.
Yeah.
It's tough, and I don't believe there's reverse in most stock cars.
And I had to keep driving around and turning to the left. I couldn't take right-hand turns.
Let's just get all the NASCAR jokes out of the way right now.
Oh, you mean the National Association for Sports Cars? Stock car.
Auto.
Wow, it keeps going?
Yeah.
Auto racing.
Bingo!
Oh, wow, I thought the car was just car.
Yeah, no.
All right.
All 6 letters stand for something.
It's going to be an informative quick one.
We're going to do a quiz at the end.
Okay.
You might want to jot that one down.
Vinny Carabella, our resident expert on NASCAR.
I know everything.
He knows it all. He knows it all. You know, it's we were talking about this, Ed, before we started recording here. Like March 2011 is when you guys first did NASCAR, the game.
NASCAR the game.
Now,
2011 actually it was called. That's right.
Obviously, Utechnics and you know, with your personal history, you guys have done a lot of stuff with NASCAR and other kind of racing leagues in the past. So this wasn't just like your first stop with it.
No, definitely not. Utechnics has been doing nothing but motorsports games for almost 25 years.
Yeah.
Based over in Newcastle in the UK, and just really experts at it, great technology. But I've been doing NASCAR, well, since before I had gray hair. I started 93, 94 at Papyrus.
Oh,
Right.
wow.
Yeah,
Really?
so-
Way back then. In fact, we were talking about IndyCar before we got recording here.
Yeah.
They had just shipped IndyCar racing when I started at Papyrus.
Oh, wow.
So I go way back to the first NASCAR game. So
But then there was a little break there, obviously. You know, EA had NASCAR for a
Yep.
number of years, and then there was a few years where there just was no NASCAR at all.
Exactly.
So what was it like just, you know, before we get into the new game, just having that break and then coming back to NASCAR like that?
It taught us a lot that the break is actually a good thing.
Okay.
You know, to come up with a sports game year after year after year, you know, and just annualize it, try and come up with something different, it's very difficult to do. So it's sort of really by design that there was a year and a half between these two games.
Yeah.
And you're probably going to see, before we do another retail product, we're going to do another year and a half, maybe 2 years in between again. At least that's on the product plan right now. But because of downloadable content, we can do a lot of cool things in between. Add new seasons, maybe add some tracks, some other features, maybe even, I don't want to give anything away, but maybe even some other series that everybody seems to always ask us about. It's like, what about Nationwide? What about trucks? It's all stuff that we're talking about,
Right.
and really that's the plan.
So coming from Papyrus, does this come with a manual that's at least 700 pages?
It does not, thank God.
All right.
Although I got to tell you, underneath the covers, if you put this thing into like the champion mode, it's as real as you can get on the console. It is high-tech, high-end simulation.
Well, I have the controller, so I am not going to play it that way.
We're going to fire this puppy up in rookie mode.
Yeah, exactly.
And
So
it makes it a lot easier to have all the assists and everything turned on.
Okay.
So Ed, let's get into this here. What do you want to show up
Well,
first?
let's zip on over and go into single race. Let's get you out on the track and have some fun. There you go,
Okay.
Single player, race now. Quickly zipping around the garage. You get to pick your favorite team. You got any favorite drivers out there?
Let's see here. Let's see here. What are we looking at here? See if I can. Hendrick's not bad.
Hendrick's always a good one.
You know, my dad always loved Penske.
There you go.
Oh, look at you, got Twitter handles on there. How very 2012 of you.
Yeah.
Big Twitter. In fact, if you look at Brad Keselowski, the king of Twitter for NASCAR with the Daytona. Did you guys see the race this year when they had the Juan Pablo Montoya smashed into the jet dryer? You remember
no.
this thing? It was like a 2-hour delay in the race while they cleaned up the track after the guy smashed into the jet dryer. Brad Keselowski was out there on the backstretch, walking up and down with his BlackBerry, taking pictures and tweeting it out.
Oh, geez.
And he picked up something like 150,000 followers or something.
Oh,
It was
just from that?
crazy.
Oh, wow.
Crazy.
Any suggestions here? Any preference? Is it on me?
It's totally up to you.
I'm gonna go.
You know what? You go to Charlotte.
I'm
Go
gonna
to Charlotte. Go to Vegas. Let's try Vegas.
Okay.
Vegas is cool. Kind of the same as Charlotte. Kind of get out in the desert. You might see the Thunderbirds flying by in the background. We love our eye candy.
Let's do it here and just.
Go down. Let's definitely turn off cautions. You look like the guy that might want to have cautions off.
Let's see. There's cautions.
Flag rules. There you go.
Cautions.
Yeah, turn them off and then
Turn 'em off
damage.
here.
Put damage on cosmetic.
Visual
You know?
only. Or,
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
there
just
we
do
go.
visual only. We're not paying for the car. Let's beat the crap out of it.
13. Does your opponent difficulty change? Let's see. What do we got here?
Ooh.
Champion.
You know what?
Hard. Medium.
Yeah, let's
I'll
start.
do a medium. You know. I'm-
Oh, wow.
There you go.
Yeah.
Saucy.
I did play the last
Vinny,
NASCAR
you're next.
game.
Watch out, buddy.
Yeah, no, just put everything on expert.
Vinny's upset because there's no racing wheel. That's
right.
That's his style.
That's the only way I'm going to actually learn to drive.
It supports the wheels. We can do wheels.
Vinny grew up in Long Island, so.
That's right. NASCAR home.
Yeah, exactly. The cradle of NASCAR.
We just got rid of all the watching people drive and just drank. Just skip that part.
Yeah, well, hey, drinking and driving. That's what NASCAR is all about.
Oh, man. That's not official. NASCAR does not endorse that statement.
It's the back of the box, man. What are you
they
talking
sell
about?
an awful lot of beer at those tracks. I've actually been known to sample a beer or two when I'm at the track.
What?
From time to time.
Goodness gracious.
I know. Can I say that?
You can say whatever. You can curse if you want. We don't care.
The FCC is not going to shut us down?
No. We are all good here.
All right, so you're seeing something very new here. We actually have 2 garages in the game. You saw the front end garage. Now we're in the at-track garage.
So that was like the shop garage. This is your actual track garage.
Yeah, and think of it, when you're at the shop garage, it really is like building your car. You can do anything to it. When you're in the at-track garage, you're kind of limited to what they can really do when they're at the track, ironically.
So we got a little bit of assisting here.
Oh, yeah, we got to give you all of the assists in the world.
Do a little tuning if we wanted to.
Yeah, you can do your setups. We ship with a bunch of cool setups.
I'm sure you can get lost in there and... we won't go into the race shop.
We don't want to go back to the race shop. Let's get out of the track, turn some laps, see how you're doing, and adjust from there.
Okay. Let's see what happens.
Vegas, baby, Vegas.
Well, a little nervous
here. We didn't have you qualify, so you're starting 43rd.
Okay, I'll take it.
So look at it this way. You got 42 levels to go through.
That's right. Only go up.
You can only go up from here.
I'm going to say right off the bat, this is a...
One outside.
Oh, man, I'm not going to be able to talk during this at all.
Uh-oh.
So what are we seeing on the screen here? What's at the bottom? Is
right below the car, you get the proximity indicator. So it's like the immediate radar of the cars that are around you. You've also got a spotter talking in your ear. I mean, we're talking a lot, so you can't hear it. But Ty Norris, who was Dale Earnhart's spotter, he's now general manager of Michael Waltrip Racing. He's the voice of the spotter in the game.
Okay.
So you're hearing that. Off to the left-hand side, you've got the track map, which gives you where you are. In 39th place, so moving up to 38th, and then Matt Kenseth is actually in the lead, and then the normal tachometer and so forth over on the right-hand side. But the proximity indicator, we had something similar to that in the first game. You can turn it off for people that don't like it. It's an option to turn it off, but I actually love it. Because especially the cars coming up behind you, you don't know where they are.
I bet, yeah.
And unless you're in the cockpit view, we do have a rear view mirror, but sitting in this view, you don't have the rear view mirror, so that the indicator helps a lot.
Clear high.
All right, so I have to ask, when you're using like the NASCAR license, is it insane with all the other licensees that are involved? Because it seems like every company in the world is represented here.
It is insane. The story I love to tell, I used to work for EA Sports, and I was at the Tiburon studio down in Florida where they do Madden football. Madden has 3 licenses in it.
Yeah.
It has the NFL Players Association, and John Madden. The NASCAR games we were shipping down there had over 500 licenses in it.
Oh my gosh.
This one has over 800.
And is each one like an independent contract, or does it all just get rolled up into a NASCAR license?
Well, it doesn't all get rolled up. You do every team individually.
Okay.
But now in the days of multi-car teams, it's sort of one-stop shopping. You go to Hendrick, you get 4 for the price of 1, or not for the price. You still pay for 4.
Sure.
But you're able to work and get 4. The tracks are all separate, but where you really start getting into the nastiness is, you see all these billboards right here?
Yeah.
We have to get rights letters signed for every single one of these billboards.
Oh my gosh.
And the tracks work with us. They're great because they'll
point you in the right direction at least?
They'll point you in the right direction. The sales people at the tracks will actually do it because it's great exposure. If we just drove by a Coke sign. As famous as Coke is, it's really nice to be in a NASCAR game and get hundreds of millions of hours of exposure for free.
Right.
I mean, the thing to also remember is, the NASCAR people, like all the people involved, no one here is shy about licensing. It's, this is what they do.
This is what they do.
And it's kind of one of those things it's kind of refreshing about going to a NASCAR event and seeing this stuff is, there's no pretension about it. No one's like upset about like, oh no, they've got these advertisers. Like, no, those advertisers are keeping this awesome event going.
Right.
So we're happy about it.
Oh, I'm just imagining the stacks of paperwork that have to be on file and filled out. And
that's the vast majority of my time.
Right.
and no one actually says this, but lawyers are my best friend. I deal with them all the time.
And like logos that are like, that's our old logo. It's actually, this is too blue. This is, not green enough.
We do get a lot of that. With something we did this year, because we'd go out and we'd get the source art from the team. And we'd create the car and we'd send it in and they'd approve it. The problem with that is that every weekend the cars change a little bit, decals move here and there. But Dave Thompson is the executive producer of the game. I got to give him credit because I fought him on it at first. Said, Ed, we're going to change it this year. every car in the game, we're going to name it after a specific race and make it exactly like the race. And I was like, oh my God, Dave, the teams are going to rebel because they have the Bible. They want it to look like the Bible. And Dave was right. I mean, it was a great idea.
Locked it in per race.
Exactly. So if you're going to drive Brad Keselowski's Daytona car, and it's exact to Daytona.
Okay.
But you do get a lot of that.
That's awesome because you're right. Like from race to race, it can change. You know, like the GameStop car, like they'll have a different game on that body from one week to the next.
Yeah, we've got 43 Sprint Cup drivers in the game, and we've got over 120 paint schemes for those 43 drivers. So there are multiples for every driver.
So this is purely the Sprint Cup stuff. You were saying
purely Sprint
for
Cup
now.
For now, we're talking about. We haven't committed to it. I'm really not announcing anything. But we've definitely talked about the idea of doing nationwide and trucks. Potentially starting with the tracks to get a little bit more variety in there, because there are some other tracks, you know, like Iowa, Nashville, places like that would be kind of cool to add in. And then you start getting into the different vehicles. The nationwide cars look very different than the Cup cars now, and obviously the trucks look really different, so we might do that. But this game has 43 real Sprint Cup drivers in it. Last year we cheated a little bit. We had a few truck drivers and made them Cup drivers. And some nationwide drivers made them Cup drivers. These are 43 real Cup guys this time. Cup guys and Danica. Not just guys. I have to be politically correct. We do have Danica.
So what's their what's the involvement on like the drivers and the teams and this stuff?
Well, it's actually they like to be involved. You know, you're right. NASCAR is a heavily licensed sport, and they're doing T-shirts and hats and die-casts and all that stuff. Video games are kind of cool though, even to the drivers, and they do like being part of it. So, you know, whenever you're around,
who doesn't want to see, you know, video game version of themselves?
Yeah, they really have fun with it. So we get a lot of good input from them. We've got a few drivers that we've given development kits, Xbox development kits, so they're actually out there playing the game and giving us feedback.
Very cool.
Right now, Joey Logano's got one. Juan Pablo Montoya's got one. And that's tremendous feedback to get from the guys.
What's the main thing you hear from the drivers about the handling?
That's not how I drive. and that's what's really funny, because I tell them how we did it. We get data from NASCAR competition that the teams don't even get. We get the telemetry data that comes out of the car. So 5 times a second for the entire length of the race, there's complete positional and telemetry data coming out of these cars. Our AI is built using that telemetry data.
Oh, wow.
So Brad Keselowski in the game does really drive like Brad Keselowski in the real world.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
Sorry,
like,
Brad.
Brad, it's like we use the telemetry. That's how we created you.
Doing great. Nice and steady.
They always think they're faster.
Way back.
Well, maybe not. Speaking of faster, how about plowing to the front of the field?
I know.
Here?
I feel like I want to kick it up now, because like the thing about NASCAR, like, you know, there's the cultural side of it, and you know, everyone likes to kind of poo-poo the whole, oh, you're just turning to the left for, you know, 100 laps or whatever. The thing that I really got out of you know, the game from the last one that you guys did is just the sense of like when you are moving at such incredible speeds that just the slightest movement on the driving can be disastrous. Of just, you know, you are pushing these machines just as far as they can absolutely go.
And they're ready to break loose.
And yeah, and just if you do not corner just so, you are going to have a bad time.
It gives you an appreciation for what the real drivers go through, doesn't it? I mean, you're out there dealing with all the aerodynamics of 42 other cars, going, you know, 200 miles an hour plus at some of these tracks.
It's easy to think like, oh, it's just turn left. Where's the challenge in that? But it is this different kind of.
Well, that is the big thing about a NASCAR game. It's about pack racing.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to, you know, drive every car on the planet, Gran Turismo is just an amazing game for doing that. Need for Speed is kind of fun to go out and drive, but you're dealing with 6 or 8 other competitors out on the track. This is 43.
Yeah.
And you don't get that anywhere else. It drives our engineers crazy to be able to pull it out, because you can't cheat. You got to draw everything.
Right.
The worst thing in the world is the backstretch at Talladega. It's over a mile long, and you got to draw 43 cars.
Like in the rear and in the front.
So
no hiding.
What were sort of some of the big things coming out of the last game that you guys wanted to address with this year's product?
The biggest thing is that, you know, when we shipped the first game, our multiplayer was just not ready for prime time. We tested it as much as we could. It was our first NASCAR game, and I'm apologizing for it a little bit, but the reality was we didn't have hundreds of thousands of people, but suddenly day one the game ships. A couple 100,000 people are testing in multiplayer. We had to scramble. We put out 3 patches for the game, and multiplayer became really cool. So we needed to address the stability of that, which we did, but then we found out the fans really wanted much deeper multiplayer. So anything you can do in offline mode and single player mode, you can pretty much do in multiplayer mode in this game now.
Okay.
So the complete race weekend, you can go out, practice, qualify, everything. So I think people will be really pleased with that. And believe me, we are testing the hell out of it. It is bulletproof, robust, and people will be really happy with it.
To say, you're going for the full 43 on that?
No.
Okay.
Online multiplayer 16.
Okay. I was gonna say, because that's
That's
ambitious, man.
Split screen is 43, believe it or not. We were able to pull that up. We only did 20. Our guys are good.
Oh wow.
Our guys are good.
Well, now I got the taste for it, Ed. I want to kick it up a notch here. What should I do next?
Well, you just want to like try a tougher track since you blew that one away?
Yeah,
I want to check out career mode, or what do you want to do?
Yeah,
Tougher track?
I'd love to check out career mode.
All right.
I'd love to see what you guys have here.
So over here, you're in the main career menu. This is where you actually get dropped in first. And I'm not sure if people can hear the audio in the background, but Ray Evernham, who was Jeff Gordon's crew chief for 3 championships, I think he won with Jeff, is actually the voice of the crew chief in the game, and he's sort of the mentor as you go through.
Fantastic.
So he's going to guide you through. He was not only the crew chief, but then he started his own team, so he's a team owner. This career mode, you asked about the big new features of the game.
Yeah.
This is the biggest, most robust feature that we put in here. Career mode is actually more of a team manager mode. So what you're going to do is you're going to go in here and you do actually drive.
Yeah.
However, as you drive, as you perform, you'll get sponsor offers.
Oh,
from
wow.
the real sponsors in the sport.
I see there's the sponsors here and upgrades and stuff
Exactly.
too.
So
We went
can
out
you
to the
cash out at some point too, and like a little print a little money out of the machine?
Yeah, I think Microsoft is going to come out with the U.S. currency printer
Right.
pretty soon. If Bill Gates is done with his,
Sounds completely legal.
Yeah, perfect. No, you get credits. You don't actually get dollars.
Okay.
But you do. It does get invested back in your team. You start performing better. You have better hardware, and you work your way up through a lot of the major sponsors in the sport, like the real primary sponsors from the cars. You know, for example, ultimately you can get an offer from Diet Mountain Dew, who's Dale Jr.'s sponsor in the real world. They'll make an offer to you as you're going through career mode if you're really good.
I noticed just there it was talking about season standings right there. Is that something that you guys are pulling in actual information for that stuff, or is that just stock data in there?
With anytime we release DLC, we have the ability to update all that season data.
Okay.
And so we can absolutely update that. But in the career mode, it's an unlimited number of seasons that you can run.
Okay.
So it's going to keep track of forever, basically. Where in the last game, it was really just a season mode. You went in and tried to win the Sprint Cup Championship. Now you're starting as yourself, and you work your way up over multiple years.
All your cars so naked. Nothing on it.
That's right. See, you're starting as yourself.
Man.
You got to go out and earn some money. And that's Ray Evernham talking to you right there.
Just
too.
off to the right, there's your speed indicator, your fuel gauge, and your damage indicator. If your fuel starts running low,
So this is different from the kind of the career season stuff that was in the last game, right?
Very much so.
That was playing as existing drivers.
Yep. And this one, you're playing yourself, and like you said, you got a naked car out there. You're kind of
totally.
working your way up.
Put a towel on or something.
help you reach victory lane. During the race,
And everybody right now, if you hear the voices, they're all introducing themselves. Hi, I'm Ray Evernham. I'm Ty Norris. We've also got David Hoots, who's the NASCAR race director, is in here. If you ever hear from David Hoots, it means you did something really bad. But he does pop up in here a few times.
Really good right here.
Does he like play the role of the
Oh yeah.
the efficient?
Well, the nice role that he plays is whenever the flags come out, if you have flags turned on, he'll
Yeah.
be calling the yellow flags, right? Throw the caution, whatever. However, we did have him do a few lines for players that, let's say they get a little over-enthusiastic.
Rambunctious, maybe?
Yeah, you might get called to the NASCAR hauler by David Hoots, which if you're a real driver, you don't want to hear, but in the game, it's kind of cool to have the real guy threatening you a little bit and having some fun.
That's a nice touch for sure. All right, I know what I'm doing here. Am I on my second lap now? Okay.
And this is really, again, you're starting at the beginning of career, and I don't have any cheat codes to accelerate you through career, but these 2 laps are to sort of judge how good you are.
Okay.
And then it's going to
Okay.
work your way up through there.
Okay, I was going to say, because there was no difficulty prompt yet.
Yeah, this is just, let's run some laps and see what you got. And then they'll kind of take it from there. We'll give you a basic setup to start with that we think that'll work for you. And then we're going to throw you the lions. We're going to chuck you out there
I
and
can't wait.
start running through a season.
Can't wait.
So you're kind of qualifying for your career at this point, basically?
Yep. You know, Ray's introduced himself, and he gave you the layout of the screen, and then Ty comes on, Ty Norris, and he kind of says, hey, I'm going to be the guy talking to you, you're driving. And then it's, let's see what you got.
Come on, man. Nice and easy.
See, yeah, I feel like right now I'm sticking to the track too easily.
Is it? Oh, you think it's too easy for you?
That's enough for now. Pull her back in the pit lane, and let's go over and see what the sponsors think.
Go in the infield.
The sponsors were checking you out.
Oh, man,
I like it.
I didn't know sponsors.
So we even have rookie stripes on the car. You notice that down there? We got the rookie stripes in the back of the car.
All right, bring it on in.
Your pit lane speed indicator shows you the maximum speed you're allowed to drive in pit lane. If you go above that speed, you're going to get the black flag and be required to come in for a drive-through penalty within 3 laps.
Party foul.
If there isn't enough time to complete the penalty, then you'll have the penalty time added on at the end of the race.
So the first time you hear these things, Ray will talk to you like that, and then that goes away. He's not constantly telling you, oh, you're speeding in pit lane. If you get a black flag, it's just it's the initial stuff. They know you're a new driver.
Good work out there.
Well, you know, you can't make the assumptions about, oh yeah, definitely driving automatic steering steps off, yeah, off.
You're the one
Let's see
driving,
here.
partner. You can change
Spin,
them
do a
to
little bit of
whatever you want.
that. Car from spinning out. Heavy braking. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. Let's see what happens here.
Back into trivia.
Oh. No. Ed, I am just wild ass guessing here. Just
That's
so it's,
okay.
So it's known.
Because the trivia just came in the last couple of builds, so I don't know all the answers yet, so I can't even help you cheat.
Terrible run.
Goodness, that's surprising
Good
there.
work out there.
I'm glad we got beyond the
Sponsors
trivia.
loved what they saw. This is our first
All right, so here you go. You get your
They'll
first
pay you
sponsor
credits
offer.
based on
Hot
how
damn.
well you
Now,
perform in the
Okay,
event.
so then the sponsors, like the credits and the cash you're getting to building your team up, that's going to be dictated in part by my performance.
Totally by your performance.
Okay.
Totally by your performance. Now, what's going to happen is Moog, for example, those decals in front of the number on the side of the car, that's called the contingency panel. The initial sponsors you'll get offers from are the NASCAR contingency sponsors. Then you kind of work your way up and you start getting into the really famous sponsors in the sport. So, like I said, Lowe's Home Improvement was Jimmy Johnson's sponsor. You get really good, they're going to start making offers to you saying, hey, I want you to drive for me.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, Jimmy.
All right,
Not sorry,
so
Jimmy. Jimmy will still be out there. We won't take it away from you, Jimmy, I promise.
I'm sure he was worried.
Yeah, 5 championships later, he's really threatened by the 3 of us sitting on the couch.
Yeah,
huh?
exactly. So I'm qualifying here for my first race, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Getting in the mindset. Let's see how overambitious I was with the difficulty stuff.
Got the seatbelt on? Strapped in, ready to
Oh
go?
yeah, no, I got the
5-point harness.
Now people
The
will be
full 5
excited to
points.
know that we brought the credential holder back. People love that lanyard.
Oh my god, that was actually one of the things that I totally remembered from the first.
It
The
is.
first game was like the resolution on that is freaking amazing.
It does look cool.
Like, it's weirdly-
And we work really closely with Fox Sports, so as part of the broadcast, a lot of the graphics you saw during the race broadcast this year was our stuff. They took the lanyard, but they didn't light it the way that we lit it, and they didn't animate it. We kept calling. It's like, guys, we gave you the cool lanyard. What's
Right.
that? They showed it dropping in like we originally did, but they didn't do
No
the full
reflections or
animation.
anything?
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn on a little damage here.
You ready to go for your first race of the season? Now, before you're
So
ready
what's
to start
the
qualifying,
is practice
actually a good
different
idea
from
to go
the
get some
qualifying?
practice.
Practice is totally different than qualifying.
Okay, well-
Practice is really just go out and run some laps
More
and
practice you
adjust
get
the setup on your
before
car.
I want to
the more
qualify.
you'll be ready to grab
Let's
a good
do it.
spot on the starting grid.
Damn,
Every
let's
track is
get right to it, man.
And if you don't, if you choose to skip qualifying, we're just going to start you in 43rd.
Right. Well, I do want to at least qualify. Come on. Let's not be ridiculous.
Ryan, how do you feel about changing to a little first person?
How do I do that, Ed?
Oh, you had to ask us. I'm the PlayStation guy.
Oh, is it that? No.
No,
There we go.
There you go. Hit it again. You can really get in the cockpit.
Yeah.
There you go,
now
baby.
we're playing.
Oh, I wasn't. See, I was setting everything else up when I
No.
could see the car.
Fantastic.
I'm no good at it this
is
way.
so good. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
you can put it on barf cam too and go to the bumper.
Okay, this one actually maybe like a little bit better here.
Want to see a little more track?
I see a little more track. It's when I can't see enough of the track I start freaking out. Oh, a little low.
Don't
little
go
low,
below that line.
Little low, little low. There we go.
Oh, he's heading towards barf cam.
Yeah, creeping up.
2 laps here. Just you in that pole spot, buddy.
There's barf cam.
Oh God, I'm flying. I've had this dream before.
They're doing pretty good.
it's just it's just the most subtle movement on the stick. You got to be so gentle with it.
Well, you're going 173 miles an hour right now.
Right. That's reasonable. That should be a little difficult.
It should be a little difficult. Not your typical commute speed here in San Francisco, I would think.
Definitely not. I probably 75 is probably my peak in my Ford Explorer.
Wouldn't that be cool? Like over the Golden Gate Bridge doing like $170?
No, not at all. That'd be terrible.
I think maybe 90 is probably the best I've done on the bridge, but
That's pretty stout.
Those motorcycles seem to be hitting about 300 miles an hour when they fly by me. I think having just played a couple of plane sims, I think Drew could probably confirm this. I think the landing speed on that P-51 was about 160 miles an hour, Drew, is that right? So you're going faster than a plane.
I could, if it weren't for the weight, I could probably take off in this thing.
But not faster than a speeding bullet.
Not quite.
Not yet.
So the pole speed right now, Earnhardt's on the pole. He did a 47.15. Your last lap was a 52.48.
God, how do I don't even know where I find that time, man.
I think you're going to beat your 52.
That's fine, man. That's a good
Nope.
Qualified 43rd. Oh.
Now, it
All
doesn't
right.
actually make that sound when you cross the checkered line, right?
In the real cars?
Yeah.
No.
Because that'd be awesome.
Race day is the one
We
that
do
matters.
that.
It's very
You
satisfying.
sweeten it a little.
Yeah.
All right.
I want to make sure you're happy with the setup before the race.
So now you can do
go run
another
some
practice
laps
after
for me and see
qualifying.
if you're
This
happy.
is the real race weekend. You show up, you take your car out, you do practice, then you qualify, then you go out, you do happy hour practice again, then you go race. So we're really going through the race weekend here.
This is all stuff that's completely beyond me, but I feel like due diligence here, I should show some of this stuff off as far as the tuning goes.
Yeah, anything that you want to do in the car, anything you can do to a real car, you can do in this game. In
Like, that's-
ugly, gory detail.
Yeah.
And it has a very direct impact on the way the car handles. too.
It's a brutal, insane amount of information here that you can tweak and adjust to your liking. I'm not that guy, but
That's all right.
But I did want to show that stuff is at least in there. So let's go ahead and get out of here. I'm gonna skip that next practice. Or I'm just gonna take it to Daytona, man.
All right, so now we're going to start. This is something new in the game. We actually have the Daytona duels. So the qualifying races for Daytona are in here.
Oh wow. Okay.
Daytona is the one race during the year that you just don't go out and run a lap and qualify. In Daytona, they set the qualifying for the qualifying races by how you ran. It's a great way to sell additional tickets, and it's also a great way to race for it.
I was gonna say really stretch out those NASCAR weekends.
Yeah, but it does. Everybody goes to Daytona for 2 or 3 weeks. All the fans show up for a long time, so it gives them some really cool races to watch.
Clear.
So we're nice. We shortened it. The duels are normally 150 miles.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Yellow flag, yellow, yellow, yellow.
Is that on you or
Someone came up and
Jeez.
hit me.
Oh, that guy.
Oh, it's definitely somebody else's fault.
Well, let's look at the replay here. Let's look at the replay. Let's see what happens.
Go to the tape.
That's me there.
It's a-
All right, I may have run into I may have run into that guy.
No, I think
I may have run into that guy.
If he hits you from behind, it's always his fault.
No fuel this time.
See, this is
You're looking real good, buddy.
We may have wanted to have turned cautions off, potentially. Just saying.
Oh, actually, I turned that on specifically. I wanted to see how that stuff worked.
It does
in the
go
game.
through. You can do the pitting. We redid the animated pit crew this year because there's only 6 guys off over the wall now instead of 7 like we had the last time around. And you
Hey,
get
Ed, you're in 13th. Good going there, man.
Wow. Lucky 13.
So you don't make me drive under yellow. I'm not gonna have to
no, we don't. We
do pace
accelerate
laps or
through
anything.
time.
Okay.
Car up top.
Now this is where that proximity radar. Yeah, you just turned on the proximity radar. Really helps in a situation like
bet.
that because you couldn't see anything behind you.
Yeah.
High side.
I mean, it is
Oh, geez.
so much about that situational awareness. Oh,
Watch your inside.
Oh, it's getting ugly.
Yeah.
Side. Bring
Just-
one out in the middle.
shush.
Car high.
Ooh, Casey's blocking you. Hey, see, the cars are going to get aggressive like that. He didn't want you to pass him. He came down and tried to scare you.
Good, buddy.
I'm just like on pins and needles with Ryan here.
This dude, every position is more.
All right, that's Danica right in front of you in that green car. Another rookie. You got her.
Inside.
Oh,
Still down low. Still down low. Still down low.
yep.
We're on the low side.
All right, I'm gonna get behind her again, see if I can make another go at this.
So if you look in the upper right, it says you're in 7th out of 22 cars. Those dual races, they do split the field. Half of it racing the first duel, half of the second. That's
Okay.
why so this particular race will set you, you know, in the 7th row, but you'll be 1 or 2 cars in the 7th
inside.
row. Or now 6th row.
Down low.
Head to the 5th.
Oh boy.
Still inside.
Nice.
You're on the inside.
I feel like you're playing like NASCAR operation or something. Where you're just
It is where it's
Yeah.
you know, because you want to draft, so you get that.
but don't touch the sides.
But everything is so delicate. Like you saw that wreck that happened from just that little nudge.
Still inside. Still down low.
nicely
Nice.
done.
All right.
Very nicely done. I
Feeling
would
it.
have totally been in the wall there. Testing those safer barriers.
Way to get
Woo!
it done, man.
Very
I got my-
nice.
and I get
well, that's a
paid.
heck of a lot better than the 43rd we had last time around.
Yeah,
right?
no, I know. I'm feeling better
Good
here.
news. You're in
And I'm
search for
getting
prize by winning
points.
Contingency award.
Not real points,
You
but
win
that's
contingency
fine.
awards. for
Sponsors are
achieving-
watching though.
That's
The
right.
credits are going to start piling in after that performance.
So how many different sponsors in the game?
Oh God! You know what?
Let's ballpark
It's
it.
funny. I signed them all. I should know the answer to that. 60, 70-ish, a ton.
Okay.
So basically, all 43 cars, most of the 43 cars that are in the game, then the contingency sponsors, probably more than 60. They're probably pushing 80.
And can I, you said this career kind of keeps going, if I do well enough, can I have all of them on my car?
No, what happens is you only have a limited amount of real estate, so you can
Oh.
only have
Then you have to start.
a primary sponsor and a limited number of associate sponsors. So you're going to make a choice if, you know, Sprint comes along and makes
Yeah.
you an offer to be the primary, you're going to have to give up your current primary. And then you've got to perform to the level that Sprint expects. They're going to give you certain challenges that you have to attain in order to keep their sponsorship and keep the credits.
And Burger King is one of the
It's a great
sponsors.
way to improve
Burger King is
performance.
one of the sponsors. They're on the
You earn
83 and the
credits during
93
your
car.
career.
So tell us just briefly here, Ed, about the upgrade system here, because you know, it's like stock cars. It's part of the name. It's stock. Is there is that sort of that even playing field for stuff. So how do you address that? And how do you manage that when dealing with upgrades?
Yeah, well, I mean, even within stock cars, there's the who's who. If the, you know, Hendrick Motorsports, for example, or Roush Yates Engines are building some of the greatest engines out there.
Right.
Not everybody can afford those. So you're going to start with a lower end engine or have your own engine shop. So as you get credits, you can upgrade through the better engines, the better brakes, the better brake pads, the better exhaust systems as you go through. So it'll make a big difference. Trust me.
Is everyone on the Chevy chassis, or
Nope. We've got all 4.
Okay, great.
We've got Chevy, Ford, Dodge, and Toyota.
Great.
When you started the game, you actually chose the manufacturer that you wanted to be representing.
Oh, okay. I completely missed that part. But
I think by default it came up with Chevy,
okay.
and then we put you into the Sprint car because they're the major sponsor.
Well, I'm a
in the
Ford
sport.
man. God damn it.
All right, well you can head back out and get your Ford.
Well, I'm excited about that.
You
And
can be a
I
Ford
understand
guy.
that you know in the next year or two, next couple seasons, there's talk about bringing more of that body style back to the actual cars.
Yeah, actually next season the 2013 cars are totally different looking, and they
Yeah.
really do look like the real street cars.
Right.
We don't even have. We're sitting here today. We still don't have the CAD data for the 2013 cars.
Oh, okay.
I was just gonna say that
the
means
te-
all
the
new
teams don't
models
have it.
and everybody's got to redo everything.
They have to redo everything, and they're really going through wind tunnel testing right now to try and keep them similar. But if you look at like the new Ford Fusion,
Yeah.
it looks like the street Ford Fusion.
Wow.
In fact, Ford is upgrading the street car Ford Fusion to make it look like the race car.
That's cool. That's so cool.
GM is bringing an entirely new car into the country. They're bringing in the SS, and I can't remember the name of it. God, forgive me, people listening that are big GM fans, but it was an Australian car they're bringing in, and it's going to be the Chevy SS. I can't think of the company down
geez.
there. Damn.
I
Wow.
might know what you're talking about, but So we've got this big lengthy career mode. We've got you know, split screen and Xbox Live multiplayer, 16-player.
16-player online multiplayer.
Online multiplayer.
Split screen with 43 cars per window, which is pretty killer.
We've got challenges in here.
Challenges are also it's like the third big new feature. A couple of different things here on the screen for challenges. You get head-to-head mode. What we've done is I told you we had that telemetry data. So you can go out and you can race against a real driver, and he's out there as a ghost car, and you're trying to follow him. But it's you pick the driver you want to follow. It's the real guy. It's actually really cool. And then the scenarios, we've taken really key moments of some cool races. We show you what happened, and we drop you into the middle of it, so you either try and relive it or change history.
Very cool, and so much more. We're not going to get into the rest of this right now. I think we are just about out of time here. But Ed, when is this game coming out? What systems are you going to be on?
Election day.
Wow.
Go vote, and then head on down to your favorite retailer.
Go vote with your dollar.
Go vote for Romney or Obama, and then head on down and pick up your copy.
To hell with you, I'm a Ron Paul man.
NASCAR the Game Inside Line. You can vote for Ron Paul. You can write in Ed Martin if you want. It wouldn't work out well for anybody involved, especially the country. But go ahead. But yeah, we're out on Election Day, November 6th, and it will be out on Xbox 360. PlayStation 3 and Nintendo Wii.
Fantastic. Ed, thanks for coming out and
absolute pleasure.
Giving us a look at the game.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you guys. It's been a blast.